Like one day she's Disney's darling, and the next she's signing papers thicker than any script she's ever read. That's just wild.
A secret deal. No one saw it coming. Not the casting directors ordering oat milk lattes. Not the headline-hungry tabloids dropping clickbait faster than you can say fairy tale. And definitely not the diehard fans still buying Snow White merch the morning after the meltdown. Rachel Zegler, Disney's billion-dollar darling turned controversy magnet, allegedly signed a hush-hush agreement so ironclad it makes Cinderella's curfew look like a polite suggestion. And that payout? Rumor has it, it's enough to buy the dwarf's entire lifetime jewel stash, and then some.
They're saying the payout's $7 million to keep her quiet, and it's like spread over 3 payments. That's hush money with a Disney bow on top.
And stick around, because the truth bomb is coming, and it's bigger than any magic mirror can handle. 2 weeks ago, a grainy hallway recording blew through Disney's studio firewall like a cyclone through cardboard. 40 seconds of tinny reverb in which Zegler torched lighting cues, shaded the costume department, and mocked cheap tourists who'd clap at anything. Overnight, hashtags mushroomed into an impenetrable forest. Snow White Gate, Zegler off stage, Mouse Crisis. Disney Plus yanked every teaser faster than you can say bibbidi-bobbidi-bye, while legal teams hammered out worst-case talking points that couldn't outrun the refresh button. Petitions demanding the film be shelved sprinted past 100,000 signatures, a wave so loud that weather apps joked about social media storm warnings.
Even the Vegas bookies are betting on this meltdown. Looks like Evita's financial freefall just turned into the hottest gamble in town.
If you thought the biggest twist in Evita was the plot, think again. Rachel Zegler's backstage drama could be the real showstopper.
Behind the scenes, blinds were half drawn and espresso ran cold while executives shuffled stock graphs like tarot cards. One muttered, "Do we soft cancel?" Another whispered, "What's it cost to pay her off and move on?" A third stared at subscriber charts like they held prophecy. Somewhere between budget sheets and crisis PR calls, a plan crystallized. Buy the silence, bury the noise, salvage the brand. An anonymous production assistant slid identical DMs to 3 rival bloggers. She's negotiating an exit with a gag clause. Screenshots detonated across Discord, Substack, and TikTok. Reddit sleuths watermarked everything. Twitter lawyers dissected NDA etiquette. YouTubers pasted "pay me like a pop star" over Zegler's headshots.
Rachel Zegler's backstage meltdown didn't just tank her reputation. Disney Plus pulled the entire Snow White release. That's next level damage.
Disney Plus just straight up shelved Snow White. No warning, no explanation, just vanished like it never existed. This is brand panic at its finest.
Publicly, Disney Plus issued the blandest statement imaginable. We remain committed to creative excellence. Privately, executives scheduled an off-site marked Project Apple Blossom Confidential. Within hours, Snow White vanished from Disney Plus's internal promo calendar, like a ghost erased from a gravestone. Marketing emails with planned ad placements got flagged on hold. Even the splash screen that once teased the live-action reboot disappeared from presentation decks. It was as if the project had never existed, leaving only a white space where anticipation used to live.
Rachel Zegler has been recast in Paddington 3 due to strikes, but I have a sneaking suspicion the strikes are only a cop-out for the fact that she has had so much negative press.
Meanwhile, Rachel's Instagram went dead silent. No latte art, no cat filters, not even a mirror selfie with a cryptic caption. The silence spoke louder than any apology, and fans felt betrayal bloom like nightshade in a once magical forest. Critics sharpened their quills, ready to carve epitaphs for an actress who once sang to woodland creatures, and now might have ghosted them all. Defenders composed long leniency threads. Some begged for mercy, others rationalized the meltdown as creative exhaustion, or blamed the stress of the Hollywood machine. But insiders, they bought earplugs. Because every conversation in every hallway whispered the same thing: hush money. Rumors leaked like a broken faucet. Low 7-figure settlement, forfeited back-end royalties, and an ironclad social media muzzle that would gag her for at least 18 months.
She really underestimated the power of the public, and now she's getting exactly what she asked for.
This is absolutely insane. If she didn't end her career with Snow White, this is definitely it.
The message was clear. Take the cash, disappear quietly, and let the algorithm erase every trace of your Disney princess days. Then came the bombshell. A grainy photocopy of a preliminary term sheet that looked like it had been scanned on a decade-old fax machine. Half the text was blacked out, but one line glowed like radioactive waste. Settlement to be paid in 3 tranches, subject to compliance. That word, compliance, hit like a gavel, conjuring visions of corporate lawyers sitting around a boardroom table with a stopwatch and a mute button. TikTok lawyers? Yes, they're a thing, tagged Yosh Legal T and started dissecting the language at 1.25x speed. Finance Twitter took out their calculators and started adding compound interest on hush money, while meme makers photoshopped Scrooge McDuck diving into a vault of hush cash. Shares wobbled, they didn't plummet, but they shook enough that a few CNBC anchors dropped their voices to the same hush they reserve for Federal Reserve rate hikes and global recessions. Brand trust, they murmured, is currency. A freelance accountant soon dumped a redlined ledger onto a private Discord.
The partner in crime and one of the most entitled.
I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
Toxic.
I'm a narcissist.
Man-hating.
She's not going to be safe with a prince.
Nasty. The last part. Her words, who single-handedly actually annoyed everyone so bad they skipped this mess. Well played.
Payment amount circled twice in angry red ink, $7.2 million. 7.2, authenticity. Unverified, watermark blurred, disclaimers everywhere. Yet no one cared. The comment sections lit up like Las Vegas at midnight. Guess being a diva pays. Disney's cheapest write-off ever. I'd melt down for that kind of cash any day. Even the skeptics couldn't look away. For a moment, it felt like a cosmic joke that a single leaked line in an internal document could set off a digital earthquake bigger than any studio press release. And deep down, everyone watching knew. In Hollywood, silence isn't golden. It's 7 million green.
What is it like for you now having all of this? I think it's a lot of pressure, right?
It's definitely a lot of pressure, but I surround very good people who keep me grounded and try to just stay as true to myself as I possibly can.
Paparazzi caught Zegler leaving a Beverly Hills law office just past sunset, clutching a manila envelope stamped legal like a fragile artifact. She wore oversized sunglasses that didn't quite hide the tension in her posture. Fans gasped. Same way they'd gasped when the leaked audio first hit, except now the drama had a real-world face, not just a voice. Analysts raised eyebrows on finance calls. Lawyers hyperventilated, imagining NDA breach clauses colliding with tabloid headlines. Outrage poured in from every direction. Online trolls, TikTok truthers, legacy media all hungry for a new scandal. Disney's legal team fired cease and desist letters like confetti at a New Year's party. But every takedown triggered a Streisand aftershock that only pumped the views higher. Each attempt to bury the noise gave it new life. Inside the Disney fortress, executives locked Slack channels like digital panic rooms. All replies got routed to corporate affairs. As if PR was the last line of defense against a digital hurricane, they prayed for quiet that never came. While the internet raged, a senior vice president slipped from headquarters long after midnight with a thick folder. Tagged RZ Settlement, confidential tucked under one arm, flashbulbs flared like lightning as he ducked into a waiting SUV. The vehicle peeled off into the darkness, leaving fans and reporters chasing theories faster than conspiracy blogs could refresh.
A lot of what you see with Zegler is really just a pretty common Gen Z mentality and approach to work. She believes that she should be able to express herself and speak her truth or whatever nonsense, regardless of the consequences to everybody else. In reality, you have a job. You're getting paid to do this job. You signed on the dotted line. You took on the role. And that job comes with certain basic responsibilities. And one of the most basic is the responsibility to control yourself and comport yourself a certain way publicly so that you don't harm the project, thereby harm all the hundreds of other people who are working on it.
Industry trades floated the vault strategy. Like a lifeboat in a hurricane, shelve the movie for 3 years, let time soften the scandal, then re-release it when the outrage felt as retro as VHS tapes. Critics howled sellout, accusing Disney of corporate cowardice. Defenders called it strategic, wise brand stewardship. Insiders called it what it was, a burial at sea tied with mouse-ear ribbon. Then came the marketing leaks. Emails that made eyes bleed corporate yellow. One line screamed from the page like a flashing hazard sign. If cancellation leaks, pivot messaging to family values repositioning. Twitter erupted because what family values were they talking about? The same brand that owns Deadpool, Alien, and that one R-rated pirate movie Hashtag darned family value myfoot trended for 6 straight hours. Parody t-shirts sold out by dinner. Disney stock dipped again, a slow-motion drip that sent finance anchors on Bloomberg talking like morticians. Small TikTok creators filmed teary confessionals, while bigger ones mocked the criers and raked in the ad revenue. Meme fatigue settled in like a digital fog. Inside the corporate bunker, executives hastily convened the Snow White team for a 7-minute all-hands Zoom call. No cameras, no mics, no chat. A black screen, a single voice. 7 minutes of corporate. Disclaimers and 0 answers. Then the call ended. Employees sat in stunned silence, staring at Slack channels that now felt like empty hallways. Reactions came in emoji form: skulls, hourglasses, and poisoned apple icons. No new release date, no fresh talking points, just digital vapor. Outside the castle, petitions to save the film sparked candle emoji vigils. Hope in a sea of hashtags. Meanwhile, counter-boycotts demanded Disney stop coddling divas and stand up to meltdown culture. Snow White was scrubbed from every upcoming title's reel. The placeholder slot on the streaming dashboard blinked out like a star at dawn, and the billboards, those shiny marketing monoliths that once promised magic, turned stark white with giant red letters reading "Cancelled." Commuters Instagrammed the emptiness. Traffic nearly gridlocked. Even the digital billboards that still rotated ads for princess merch looked like haunted ghosts in a kingdom that no longer believed in happily ever after. Rumors swirled like wildfire that Netflix had come sniffing around the Snow White carcass, offering pennies on the Disney dollar for the streaming rights. Insiders whispered that the offer was so low it made Wall Street analysts spit out their cold brews. Netflix, ever the digital trickster, responded with a single frog emoji. Shade, or a Prince reference, nobody knew. Everyone debated. Some saw a subtle jab at Disney's fairy tale meltdown. Others claimed it was Netflix's sly reminder that even princesses need rescuing sometimes, and they'd be happy to provide a new home. While fans refreshed Twitter feeds and Reddit threads like stock tickers, a draft Disney press release soon. Leaked, sterile, corporate, lifeless. Disney commits to creative excellence and community respect. Paragraph 2 referenced recently surfaced material that does not reflect the inclusive spirit of our brand. Then, the 7 words that froze a billion-dollar pipeline and hushed an empire of dwarfs: the live-action Snow White project will not premiere on Disney Plus at this time. No date, no apology, no blame assignment, just a sterile kill switch on a dream that once promised happily ever after. Subscriber projections for the launch quarter vanished from spreadsheets like a cursed apple dissolving in water. Finance departments watched forecasted numbers bleed red. Moody's slapped Disney pegs with a watch negative outlook. Internal memos started calculating legal exposure if the Hush deal ever surfaced in court. Some lawyers estimated potential 8-digit damages, enough to fund an entire Marvel series and still leave room for PR spin, somewhere deep in the marketing department. A desperate intern proposed turning the raw footage into a cautionary docuseries 10 years down the line, one of those prestige documentaries Netflix would pounce on like a vulture. Someone else in the meeting half-joked that it could stream on Nat Geo between shark specials. In the transcript, the laughter landed cold, proof that no amount of gallows humor could hide the panic in the boardroom. Rachel finally re-emerged in public, caught by TMZ outside a Pilates studio wearing an oversized hoodie and offering no comment. The camera followed every step from door to SUV, captioned "Step count to redemption" like soared. Every step a click, every silent sigh a monetized view. A slide deck soon emerged from the marketing war room, titled Post-Controversy: Consumer Trust Recovery. One bullet point read, "Reboot Snow White with a new lead once sentiment cools." Fans on Twitter wasted no time. Polls popped up instantly, asking who should play the princess next. Zendaya gifts led 3-1. Meanwhile, legal teams reminded the top brass that Zegler's payout was conditional. One stray tweet or unauthorized interview, and she could lose millions overnight. Slack channels buzzed with speculation. Would she stay silent or break? Would the princess stay in her tower or come out swinging? An external counsel floated a scorched earth strategy. Bury archives, reassign staff, rebrand project codenames, like hiding the apple in a different orchard. But a vice president, weary from endless PR calls, typed a single line: "Too late, internet never forgets." So, is Snow White cancelled, postponed, or sealed in corporate cryo sleep until Generation Alpha stops caring? Whistleblowers promise more leaks. A conference call recording where an exec mutters, "Vault it and walk away." If you want that tape the moment it surfaces, tap subscribe, slam notifications, and sprinkle algorithmic pixie dust across this channel. In 2025, the fairest one of all isn't who the mirror favors, it's whoever controls the mute button when the next bombshell detonates. because secrets never stay buried, especially the $7 million kind.